Hi, it's me, Wyatt, the boy,
And me, Clem, the lobster.
and you're listening to The Lobster and His Boy, in which we were rereading the Chronicles of Narnia in publication order. In this episode, we'll be compiling our rankings of the books, talking about some theories, and just a general wrap up on the plot of the books one last time. Let us know in the comments below or on our Instagram which book is your favorite. We would love to know because we're going to force you to hear ours.
What if the group consensus is that like everyone's favorite book is like Prince Caspian?
I don't care. I would love that.
I
If
mean-
people loved Prince Caspian,
Yeah.
I guess we can just get into the tournament of the rankings, of the raw rankings of Narnia.
Yeah, do you want to go first?
Sure. We'll start with Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, as we read it first. I ranked this guy a solid 4 out of 5. Like, I remember I didn't want to give it a 5 out of 5 out of the gate, but I just loved it, and I knew that I was just extra excited because it was the first one. But yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5.
I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, which like now that I'm really thinking about almost seems too high, but it's been so long since we read the original book, but I also know how much I love it and how many great characters are in it, and maybe it is that it's the most familiar story. But I still stand by that. Yeah, so 4.5 out of 5.
Which is a total of 8.5 out of 10 score of us, which is pretty high, but not the highest. And the movie also did pretty good. Spoilers. This did the best of all the movies, which I gave it a 4 out of 5, which is kind of crazy. The same. I think this is the only one I gave a movie the same rating as a book. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
And I also gave it a 4 out of 5. I think it is the best movie. I have grown to love Dawn Treader after watching it again without having to pause and dissect it, but it's never going to beat the original.
No, it's so good, and I think that they did
The
have
original.
they did have the benefit of time and when it came out in order for it to have that impact, because it's got some nostalgia for me, which definitely gave it some points.
Yeah, no, it's got the 3 T's that you need. It's got time, it's got tumness, and it's got Tilda.
And we move on to Prince Caspian. This is low. This is a low book for me. I gave it 2.5 out of 5. A half. An F.
I also gave it a less than passing score. 3 out of 5 is what I gave Prince Caspian.
Yeah, for a 5.5 out of 10. And the movie did even worse. I gave it a 1.5 out of 5.
What was I doing giving it a 2 out of 5?
I gave it a 3 for like a regular movie. If it was just a regular like non-book adaptation movie, I think it was a 3. It was good, it was fun, but as far as a book adaptation, I 1 out of 5, 1.5. So yeah, that is our lowest ranking movie with a 3.5 out of 10. Prince Caspian movie.
I think it's just my Aslan heart that couldn't give it any lower than a 2, because 2 already seems pretty
Rude.
disencouraging.
Yeah, I
don't
get
know.
that.
It's like I want to be supportive, but also like it was bullshit.
I remember I was mad. I was mad.
I'm residually mad about it. I think I'm just mad about everything that's been going wrong in the past like couple hours, but it is in terms of it is just part of the cosmic joke. So anyway, chugging right along through the waters to
Dawn Treader, which ding 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 is our highest ranking book. I gave this a 4.5 out of 5. 4.5. It was long, but it was fun, and the lore of like the different islands and all the star people and all the different things was enough to outweigh the long journey through the ocean.
It says I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. That seems high because I don't think I liked it as much the first time, but I
That's,
believe your
yeah.
research. I don't even know if I give it a 4.5 out of 5 now, which is why I'm confused
Yeah.
that I ever said that.
I think that during that read through, Eustace really blossomed in a different light for us, and I feel like that's
Oh,
when
this is the book.
this is the book. Yes,
Oh,
this is the book.
okay.
Sorry.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the movie. I was like, I did not enjoy the movie. That I
No.
was like, that's why I was like, this can't be right. Okay, I understand now. Yeah, the book, totally,
Yes.
totally.
4.5 book. Sorry, I should have said the book because this one still has a movie. Yes, the Don Treader movie now for me gets a 3 out of 5. It gets down now, 1.5, 3 out of 5. And this was our this one was your first you were really breaking it down, your point level system. You're like, well,
I like to be thoughtful
yeah.
in my dissection. I'm of the generation that had to do dissection in school, and the one thing I learned from it is yuck. Also, there's a lot of factors. It seems that I gave it a 3.25.
Yeah, there was talk of a 3.15 that I think, and then a talk of a 3.2, but I think it settled on a 3.25 at the end, which gives it a movie score of 6.25.
I think my issue, yeah, I'm doing like my issue is one, I watch way too many like ice skating, like gymnastics things. So like those points get really like weird and arbitrary. And that combined with Whose Line Is It Anyway, where the points are made up and they also don't matter. I feel like that's where we're getting these weird
Yeah,
numbers.
we're
But
giving it Aslan Roars.
I guess I wasn't ever considering the fact that the points would be added up at any point.
Oh, me either until it was over.
So
Also, like, most of these you didn't have written down before. You only gave it a rating post episode versus I had my ratings out when I finished the book. I was like, I'm rating this like it's Goodreads. I'm like, this is my rating, this is my review.
I mean, but that's why we're a good team because you know you're taking the time and doing like I do take notes but I feel like most of the things I do are off the cuff and that's I feel like why it has not like more sincerity because obviously planning you're putting thought into it but like I know that I'm answering like probably as honestly as possible and I can even look at the movie and be like 3.25 out of 5 even rewatching it and liking it I'm like yeah that's fine like I'm okay with that I don't think that I need to like change it or like
Green Mist, Sword. You were fine with the Sword Lord plot edition, I remember.
and that fucking sea serpent was scary.
Terrifying. Yeah, that shit was so scary.
Like that in theaters, especially if you had like an edible or there was too strong.
With the surround sound. Oh my god. Don't even talk to me about 3D.
Dude, that'd be fucking sick in 3D actually.
The tentacles.
I feel like the only movie I remember seeing in 3D was it was like the Valentine
My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
and,
the
like,
miners.
It was I think I like rewatched it and I was like, it was much better in 3D because like the blood like flying in 3D, like that is how you make a bad horror movie.
Yeah, I saw Shark Boy and Lava Girl in 3D. That was the first 3D movie I saw. We drove to the movie theater in a limo. Like I said, there's always a limo in these kids' birthday stories. Like my friends weren't rich, I swear. There was just like a local limousine rental thing and it was probably really cheap or something. I don't know. I wasn't an adult. I was a kid.
No, somebody's uncle owned my friend in high school got to do that because somebody's uncle owned like a limousine rental company because like out where my high school is like especially like at that time like it was easy to have like a lot with like a bunch of cars and I remember you would see like all these like nice like limos just in a parking lot basically.
That's cool.
So I mean I'm sure that stuff still exists but anyway back to so now we're on Silverchair.
We're on, yeah. I gave this a 4 out of 5. There's lots of 4 out of 5s going around on my end. I know. I'm just I liked the books, okay? I was doing a lot of fun research, and there was a lot of thought out things. I was
You're
at
an ally.
An ally, and it was a 3.5 before recording. So I often get talked up with how excited either you are about it or how excited I get myself about it, which is funny because yours is not as high as mine in this case.
What for Silver Chair?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, sorry, what did you give it?
I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Oh, and I give it 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Just was kind of like all over. I don't know. Part of me wishes that we would have read them and then gone through and read them again before doing the podcast, but it wouldn't, like, the reactions I don't think would have been as crisp. And I really appreciated discovering why I like this book so much, because I could not for the life of me remember. I think also, like, because I was just like waiting for that moment to happen. I was like, what the fuck is all this shit? Why did I fucking like this story? And it wasn't until the actual end of it, which tends to be the case with me.
And Sluis loves to wait until the end, and then he gives you like a little happy moment or a little lore tidbit, something juicy in some sort of way that
it's like at the end of It's a Wonderful Life when everybody like rushes into his house and like, Merry Christmas, George Bailey. I mean, I don't know why Jimmy Stewart be saying that to himself, but like it's that big ending scene with like the Muppets and everybody, like that's what I always look forward to. So even though I feel like there could have been more that happened in the story that maybe would have given me, or maybe would have enabled me to give it a higher rating, but
it was long in the same way, or in a different way than Dawn Treader was, because they were walking, and so it just seemed like more Tolkien in a way. It was really that.
Well, it's funny too, because like Prince Caspian scored so low, yet Prince Caspian has one of my favorite moments that I actually can remember, which is where the nurse who raised Caspian and told him about Narnia and gave him this full rounded education about the world he was taken from, when she gets to know, like she gets to meet Aslan. In my head I'm like, it's like a faithful servant meeting their creator, like getting to meet God basically. And so that is so insanely beautiful. And I think for me that's probably one of the only reasons it kept Prince Caspian from slinking down into the
fail rating.
I know. And I honestly, I think if I were to really truly chew on all these, I might give them different ratings. I won't change it now since the math has been girled, but
yeah, and I mean, I might have changed. I mean, I was changing them from pre-recording to post-recording, so if looking back in a month, I might have different feelings. Like,
oh my god. The reference I was going to mention is literally from a Disney commercial from the 90s, and I know there's one person on earth who would know exactly what I was talking about, but she's in Florida right now. It was like one of those commercials where it's like, take your children to Disneyland, like have these memories, and it was like a little girl, like she was really, really little, which like made it cuter and funnier, but like she gets to or she goes up to Mickey, she's like, I waited my whole life to meet you, but she's like less than 5, so like you're just like, oh. Anyway, the point is, that's what I was thinking of, and I was like, oh my gosh, like thinking it was like such an emotional thing, and I'm like, no, it's from a fucking Disneyland advertisement that just lives in my head because that's what I got. Anyway, I'm so sorry. Onward
and upward to the horse. The horse.
John Wayne.
The horse and his boy. Didn't rank that good. We didn't rank it that high. It wasn't bad, but I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It's fine. I remember it was just like a history book.
I think if you read The Horse and His Boy third, I think that's the placement that it's in. I think that it fits a lot better because you're getting all the story. It just makes way more sense to know about how everything came to be ahead of time. Like, the way that I almost said Lord of the Rings, incorrect. The way that Star Wars is. When they had the 3 that came out, whatever, the ones that came out in the early 2000s, fucking hated it. Even though they were cool. Even though whatever, they're fine in theory. It's just like the newer ones, wow, even now, it's been a while since they came out, whatever. The Kylo Ren ones, like those ones, okay, fine. Because it's later, because it's more story. Like, if I don't want to go fucking back.
Yeah, but yeah, Horse and His Boy gets a total of 6 out of 10, so scored pretty alright. Not great, not bad. And we move on, speaking of prequels and whether or not they're good or bad, we go on to the prequel of all prequels, Magician's Nephew, which I pull out my first 2.5, and I gave it 4.25 out of 5.
Yeah, and this is what I mean about the right type of prequel. Like this is, and like it's not even, it's like how Narnia came into existence. Like this is what they were trying to do
Yeah.
when they're like Misa Jar Jar Binks, which is one of my like I know there's been like a lot of like dissecting that for myriad of reasons, but the fact that he like lives in water, aliens, whatever. Magician's Nephew was the prequel, was the droid we were looking for.
Yes.
This one, I gave it a whopping 4.1.
Yeah. 4.1. Yeah, I should have written down the context of which this 4.1 came into existence.
I mean, in my head, like, well, you know, me being myself, having the brain I had then and also now, I don't know what the fuck I was talking about.
I remember that we both wanted them to go to like one more place. Like there wasn't quite enough
Yes. Yeah.
before.
It was too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like after the whole Apple and everything. Yeah, it was like in Beetlejuice when like, okay, I guess like all the plot line's over and now everyone's
we just fun time. We
Yeah.
completed the quest. Yeah.
And I'm like, no. Y'all are going Mamma Mia 2 when you didn't even Mamma Mia. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to
You didn't even say mama.
Yeah, you can't... You have to Mamma Mia before Here We Go again.
Yes.
You can't just jump into Cher doing a slow Cumbia tango. Like, it's not it.
No, it's wrong.
Okay, so that makes more sense. I wanted more.
Yeah.
I'm a greedy reader.
Yeah. But I think you wanted to give it more than a 4, but it didn't deserve the 2.5 that I gave it in your mind. But it did good. I think this is our third tier. Our bronze is Magician's Nephew. He goes Don Treader, Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, Magician's Nephew. So sorry, Last Battle, you didn't place in the top 3, but moving on to the Last Battle, I did give it a 4 out of 5. Surprise, surprise. I gave a lot of 4 out of 5s. Whatever.
Respectful.
I just was having a great time.
History.
I wanted to give it a 5 out of 5 because I was like really gooped and gagged and I was getting got by all of the plot moments and all of the different things. I was gasping aloud while I was reading and I was crying and I was mad and I was feeling all of the feelings that he wanted me to feel. Like I really wanted to give it a 4 out of 5. And I don't really remember. The racism. I should have docked it a 1.5, but I couldn't because I was so enthralled in his story. But he loses a full point. He should lose his license.
Which one?
I don't know all of them. His doctorate. He's a doctor, right? In learning.
I mean...
In books. Book doctor. But not like the cool kind of book doctor that fixes books. Just like a nerd.
Like how Dr. Seuss said he was a doctor?
Yeah. Just like that. Oh, wait. What'd you give Last Battle?
I give it a 3 out of 5.
3.
A thrice out of five. And, a thrice out of five. And I think I was expecting a lot from it. And although, like, it gave us a lot of incredible moments, like a blood-drenched blue unicorn horn.
It was incredible. That was sick. I want that on a t-shirt. I want Jewel on a t-shirt with like the blood dripping down. Merch.
Maybe that'll be your tattoo.
Merch.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I haven't even showed you the tattoo.
Yeah.
I got my lobster. But I'm getting a blue lobster because they're 1 in 2 million.
Well, I'm gonna get a green lobster because they're not real at all.
I mean, they look green
no, they
sometimes.
look green sometimes from like algae and stuff.
Yeah.
And I looked it up and there was a whole bunch of pictures and I was like, wait, it's actually so cute. I even found one that was like the similar pose, but I think we could just do the same pose. And then
different colors.
Yeah, different colors. Because I I don't think a red lobster would look good on my skin tone.
Yeah, somebody who has a lot of red, I feel like it's not. I guess it's right.
Yeah. I mean, it looks good, though. It looks so good. Oh, my goodness.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Point is, okay, did we finish that section?
Yes, and that's all the rankings. No more math. Just as a reminder, Don Treader is our number 1 at 9 out of 10. Almost a perfect score from Lobster and His Boy. We loved it. We loved that book. We love Eustace.
You technically lied because I have the queer points, so there's some more math.
Oh, god damn it. Okay, but it's not math on my screen.
Yeah, you're done with math. I have it after lunch.
Cool.
Well, I have the QPC, which is our queer point counter. For our QPC, do you want to guess for each one, or do you want to just...
How many points? How many times it's mentioned?
Or,
I don't know. I don't think I even have a guess.
Well, I was going to say maybe because you could guess which one you think is the highest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll guess which one I think is the queerest. I 100% Last Battle, because I feel like it was constantly like, and then Jill saw the queerest thing she ever seen, and then Tyrion saw the queerest thing he ever seen, and then the queerest thing he ever saw was a door standing in the middle of a field.
Well, I guessed the silver chair.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't remember why that was the one that I picked, but first, I think just because we had Jill.
Yeah, it was her first time.
And I just feel like, her saying it seems like something that Eustace would like, what is it, that echolalia, or however you pronounce it?
Echolalia?
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. And I feel like she does when she's like, oh, what a queer bunch. Like when they're all doing all this shit. And yeah.
But fun fact, neither of us were correct.
Damn it.
In last place with 3 queer points, we have The Horse and His Boy.
Yeah, that makes sense. It wasn't a very queer book.
Not super queer. In 6th place, we have The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe with 4 queer points.
I would have ranked that higher for sure. For sure.
Same.
4, and that's the whole... We started counting them because 4 queer mentions? Crazy.
I mean, well, I do feel like, thinking about it now, like when we were recording them, like I would go to do the queer points, like there wouldn't be that many by the end of the episode. It was just kind of like, like a throwaway fun thing. But now, in 5th place, we have The Voyage of the Dawn Treader with 5 queer points.
All right.
It grows very steadily. And then in 4th place with 6 queer points, we have The Last Battle.
Oh, shit. Like, it's up there. I'm like on the edge of my seat with these rankings. This is so great.
And then we actually have, we have a tie for 2nd place. Actually, I guess technically The Last Battle has 3rd place because there's a tie for 2nd place, which is The Silver Chair and The Magician's Nephew, both coming in at 7 queer points.
7. Lucky 7. Ding, ding, ding.
And for those who've been paying attention, that means coming in at 10 queer points. 10 queer points. Prince Caspian.
That's crazy.
Prince Caspian coming in at our QPC highest ranker at 10.
Wow.
10 QPCs.
Round of applause for Caspian. That's... Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's insane. So that must be why we started counting, because Prince Caspian had so many that we're like, this is crazy. We gotta start counting this.
And it was odd because I went through to count them in order. So when Prince Caspian had 10, I really thought all of them were going to have so many more, but no, turns out that was our peak. And for the Chronicles of Narnia, our QPC is at 42.
42 queer mentions.
42, which...
That's pretty solid.
I went full Wyatt with that and was like, meaning the number 42, because in my Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy brain, I'm thinking, okay, don't panic. We gotta jump into it. There's so much shit. There's so much for this number. It would take forever to talk about all the different meanings behind it. And I don't necessarily think that has anything to do with any sort of magical connection that Slewis was trying to bring.
Right, manifest queer energy.
Yeah, it is just funny that it ended up being
42.
The answer. Yeah.
Yeah, the answer to life and everything,
and And especially because what else does Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy have in common with Chronicles of Narnia? Teeny tiny talking mushkas.
Yes. And some queer energy.
Yeah. Could have more.
And we could do favorites now, which, I mean, for me anyway, favorite book, like looking back at all of them with all of our rankings and everything, I didn't necessarily think that it would be the highest ranked, but my favorite is the one that I ranked the highest, Dawn Treader. And just the lore, like I said, for the ranking, I love the Star People introduction and all of the different islands and the dragon curse on the gold, and just like, it's all so fun and Greek mythology vibes, and so that's also
Yeah.
why I love it so much. Like,
It
it's
is
the Odyssey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's his Odyssey for sure. Whereas like maybe that's why like Horses, Boys, the Iliad, we're like,
Yeah,
but,
literally. Oh my god.
or maybe Prince Caspian. But yeah, I agree. I think that makes it such a fully fleshed out story. And although it doesn't, you know what? No, I was gonna say it doesn't have like that those big moments. I'm like, yes, it does, because we have Eustace having that moment with Edmund where he gets to tell him the story about how he shed his skin,
Right, and how he
or
had
shed
that,
his scales.
and how he had that moment with Aslan, and nobody else did. Like, nobody else got to really see Aslan for quite a while on that journey. Lucy saw him at the Invisible People and stuff like that, but
Well, it really solidifies that Aslan has a magical connection with everybody and with Narnia, but he has his special moments, and like his connection with everybody is unique. It's individual. It's just for them. It's Wig.
yeah.
But it's, and it's just, I don't know. I think that one is just, it's so beautiful. And not only do we have that moment, we have the birds.
Yeah, the singing, the food, the end of the world, the lamb.
Yeah.
Because Aslan is the lamb at the end of the world,
Oh.
and then he turns into the lion.
I forgot. In the Dawn Treader?
Yeah, when they get to the
Getting it
end,
all
and
mixed up now.
they get to the end, and there's like the little lamb by the campfire, and then
Right.
then it speaks in the lion's voice, and then turns into the Aslan.
Right. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, because the movie goofed me, and I've forgotten about the book.
You also watched that one twice.
That is
So-
true. I do have the green mist swirling about in my head, so I think that might have played some factor into it. But it really ended up being one of the best journeys. And I think, unfortunately for Sluis, it's a tale as old as time, is that when you're doing a journey, it is more interesting when it's on water.
Yeah, versus walking.
Or
Yeah.
like, give us a train, Agatha Christie, or just some sort of
Well, I
like,
don't know. The trains didn't end up very well when he used those. But so are you saying that Dawn?
on a midnight train to Narnia. I would say it's a toss up between Lion Witch and Dawn Treader, because
Right. OG versus OG
Yeah.
cast with fun extra journey.
yeah, but I feel like again it's like choosing between two important like origin stories.
Yeah.
Almost, it's like Roman and Greek mythology, where I'm like, no, I want this and that, like
Yeah.
for these like separate things that are also kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm. And my favorite character is Lucy. Like, overall, I think that my favorite character is Lucy. But I think Jill Pole really comes in right at the end with she's badass, and she does her like scout thing, and she's disappearing into the grass, and she's fucking taking them out with her bow. She's not Lucy in the sidelines with Juice now. She's Jill Pole, arrow in the eye, dead boar shit. Like,
Yeah, she goes Princess Mononoke pretty fast.
yeah, she's kind of the best of Susan and Lucy.
She probably went back out into the world and like just became badass essentially.
Well, it says there's like one little line at the end of Silver Chair where it says that she joins the Scouts, and I didn't remember it, but listening back to the ends of the episodes to get these rankings, I did mention it, at least in some aspect, but it was just like so subtle. And then it becomes so impactful on her character when she comes back to Narnia later.
And when they leave, Eustace like buries his clothes nearby, like in the school somewhere, and she takes hers home with her, which makes me think that she just never forgot and never really shook it off in the way that, like, yeah, Susan obviously did. Fucking Susan.
Yeah.
My favorite character. My favorite character.
I feel like you've definitely got a couple. But, and
I
there,
almost feel like we could have done like book by book.
yeah. I kind of wanted to do book by book, but
You can redo it.
I feel like it
the
stays.
same,
It's
yeah.
Lucy, and then it's Jill. And I mean, for Horse and His Boy, it's probably Shasta. Or
I feel like a really dick move would be to pick Aslan.
my favorite character is Aslan. My favorite character is the Emperor over the Sea.
Boo.
Because he's so mysterious.
No, I think I would say that my favorite character, knowing everything that we know, and not just because you picked Lucy as your favorite character, I think my favorite character, to no one's surprise, is Reepicheep.
Yeah.
I think that he and Lucy are two halves of a whole. I think that Lucy's the heart and Reepicheep is the bravery that it takes, like, to make it through difficult things. Like, they are resilience, because without the duality of both of those things, how can you make it through anything?
Right.
You need your head, you need your heart, and you need them to work together.
Right. She's the heart. He's the soul.
He's the teeny tiny little sword. Honorable mention to Mr. and Mrs. Beaver,
Yes,
of course.
yes.
To Badger. No. Gloves. Something gloves.
Well, there's
No.
the badger, and then there's the mole.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just thinking of the Badger. Well,
The
yeah.
badger is Truffle Hunter.
Who's the guy with the gloves?
The mole who did the apple orchard is Lily Gloves.
Lily Glove. Yep. Oh,
Lily Gloves, the mole.
who provide, I mean, yeah, shout out to Lily Gloves, because that apple orchard fed us for many, many books.
Yeah.
And then also like the characters who are brave, even when I think it's like people who do exceptionally brave things, even though they're not quite sure if it's I don't know, I guess like people who do exceptionally brave things, even though they know it might cost them their life. So like Mr. Tumnus protecting Lucy, even though he knew the White Witch would turn him to stone. Mr. and Mrs. Beaver risking their lives to protect these children, to save Narnia. Like, yeah, it's just a story, but also like those are the real heroes. And I feel like they get forgotten about because there's so many other characters and so many other stories. But if it were not for these like brave and noble little furry creatures, none of this would have happened. So like, shout out to the squirrels, shout out to the bird who led the children
Right,
through
the
the
Red
woods.
Robin.
Yeah,
The first thing that they saw.
so I think that there's a lot of incredible characters that just kind of disappear. But then also, like, you know, lest we forget Puddleglum, who, well, I mean, I wouldn't say like with his whole heart of enthusiasm, but like, you know,
Disenthusiasm.
with as much enthusiasm as a Migglewmarsh.
Yes.
With as much enthusiasm as a Wigglemarsh can muster up.
Marsh Wiggle.
Fucking hell. Yeah, I was like, that's not right either. I like mine better though.
I knew you were going to pick animals as your favorite characters, which didn't necessarily influence my choice, but it did make me feel less bad about choosing humans because, I know that the animals are they're the Narnians. The kids are just visitors.
Well, I mean, yes. Yes, and
Yeah.
they're also, you know, kings
are
and queens of
integral,
Narnia.
yeah.
It's both. Well, because if we both pick Lucy.
Yeah, that's boring.
Yeah.
But everybody loves Lucy. Like,
Yeah, she's probably my favorite human.
Yeah.
But Reepicheep is my favorite mouse. So,
Reepicheep is the best mouse. I think if I had to pick a favorite non-human, I would probably pick Reepicheep. But Reepicheep's out. Reepicheep is your number one. If I have to pick the co-captain, I really do love Truffle Hunter.
yeah.
Like, he is just, like, so warm and calm and collected, and the way he stood up for Caspian, you know, the Badgers remember, like, oh, he's great.
Yeah.
And I think he might take my number one. I mean, Tumnus is sweet, but Tumnus is like picking Lucy because they're gay BFFs.
I feel like fawns are hybrids.
Yeah.
So like I feel like centaurs and fawns don't necessarily count.
Right, they're not
Well,
animals.
they're
They're not
not-
talking beasts.
Yeah, they're not humans.
They're different.
They're magical human hybrids. There probably is an internet term for it, but
I wonder if remember the thing I read about the Marshwiggles being descended from the humans, like the children of Frank and Helen, breeding with the naiads and dryads and making like
oh,
aquatic hybrid human things that turn into the Marshwiggles. I wonder if on a similar vein with the nature spirits that they're having kids with along the line, maybe the nature spirit hybrid has a child with the talking beast and then the fawns are born in that kind of way, if there's like an actual biological Narnian way.
oh my god.
But probably not, because a lot of times satyrs and fawns are wood spirits. Like the fawns, I
Yeah.
think, are of the woods and of the trees, and then the satyrs are like of the earth.
Yeah, it's just because I rewatched Fallout.
I wonder if you can hear the whoop-de whoops.
Yeah, at first I was thinking, now my brain is just thinking like genetic human hybrids, which is so extreme. And like did you watch Fallout?
I didn't watch it. No,
Oh,
I
okay.
played the game, but I don't mind.
That's why you're just like, what? Okay, well, just like the spoilers. No, just genetic human hybrid. That's all I really have to say. Just like in the Narnian sense, it's not like the Nazis were doing with like, trying to combine human DNA with animals and shit. But like that's where my mind kind
Yeah,
of
because
spiraled
it was
off
what you were
into.
just watching. Yeah. No, this was a nice, pleasant, consensual happening of things.
Where would you live in Narnia? Definitely not in the spooky stone mountains.
Oh, if I could live anywhere in Narnia,
Yeah.
honestly, what time do I get to pick the time period as well?
Sure.
Because I would love to live in Beaver's Dam, like not when the fucking Telmarines are doing their shit, but
Yeah.
like post White Witch, when like his dam, like maybe after they die, unfortunately, but like the site of Mr. Beaver's dam turns into like a town, which is quite near Cair Paravel, so it's like pretty close if I wanted to pop down to the castle and play some chess with Queen Lucy, assuming we're friends.
I mean, duh.
Yeah, well, I guess satyrs live probably a lot longer than beavers.
It's Narnia. Everybody lives for way long. I
Not
mean,
really. We looked it up. The people died at like 60. Caspian died at like 64.
Oh.
But I think that the talking animals live longer than the animal life. I don't think that they're only living until 16.
Now I'm wondering if your life feels extra short because of how quickly time moves there. But like you wouldn't notice how quickly time moves.
Yeah, because it moves for you the same. It's just, I don't think that it's actually moving quickly. They're just moving in different ways. Like, they're just not connected at all. So yeah, I would live in Beaver's Dam. I love being like an hour's walk from the coast. That kind of sounds nice. Hours. I feel like it's only an hour, they say, to Cair Paravel.
That's a long walk.
Well, yeah, but if I had a horse or a broom or something, if I could get there in a quicker way, I probably would.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but an hour's walk to get to the ocean is not bad, because, like, there's the ocean. It's only not... Well, but is it on a cliff? Is it, like, away from tsunami zone? I'd have to check for signs.
There's tsunamis in Narnia.
I don't know. Probably not.
Where I would live in Narnia, probably yeah. Oh, probably with the birds.
With
I mean,
the
I
birds.
guess I don't know. Like it seems like
It's kind of lonely. It's just you and
nuh-uh.
maybe a star and his daughter.
I'll
but
get
no,
myself
but
a
his
star
daughter,
bride.
his daughter, yeah, marries Caspian.
Maybe I'll thwart him and I'll get there first, and then I'll marry her, and then I'll throw.
Changing the canon, time travel.
Well, I guess Narnia isn't there anymore, so
Right. But this is, like I said, we got to pick the time period. I picked post-witch, pre-Telmarine. Because I don't want any funny business.
I don't know. I don't want to be like I don't want to live in Narnia, but part of me is like I don't really know if I want to live in Narnia. I don't know where I'd want to live. Period. But
You'd be jumping into a different pool in the wood between the worlds.
I guess if I had to, yeah, I don't know. I'd want to keep going. Okay, well, just for the sake of picking something and not being a brat, I guess, like, I would pick, like, I don't know, like, it just seems, like, stupid to pick any other time than I almost said the twins. Who the fuck are the twins? When, like,
Goran, the twins.
ugh, gross. No, thank you. They both sound like they suck.
Yeah, low key, unfortunately.
I'll just go in when we've got our four.
Yeah, the
our
golden age.
Yeah, let's just choose. I picked the golden age of Narnia for no reason other than like every other time would be like weird or lonely, but no matter what, we can't go because it would throw off the.
Yeah,
it would throw off
because we weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unless we're chill, we could be chill. We could be.
Can we?
Us in the background waving at the kings and queens.
It's a party on the dance lawn. We're gonna go kill the witch.
They're like, she's already dead. Well, I'm gonna go slay the witch again. I'm gonna
like,
go
you
find.
two do not belong here.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, people of Narnia, there's gonna be another witch one day, and she's gonna be green, and she's gonna turn into a snake.
And she's gonna say, "If you care to find me, look to the western sky."
Everyone
deserves a chance to fly. Also, Jeff Goldblum playing the wizard seems pretty cheap.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't love him.
Yeah.
It's just
love him.
very obvious to me, and I think that there could have been so many better choices that wouldn't have been as obvious.
I saw a person on TikTok talking about this exact thing about Jeff Goldblum in Wicked, and they have the opinion that he should just stop being in movies altogether, just because he's always Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
She's like, in the last 20 years, he's always just been Jeff Goldblum. I was like, 20's a little far.
He's always just been Jeff. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, that just is what he does.
Yeah.
They're not wrong. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he should stop being in movies, but,
No.
like, that's what you bring him for.
Yeah, you bring him to be Jeff Goldblum. It's like when I'm like trying to think of someone else who just is themselves, and of course my brain is doing the thing.
There's Richard Kind.
Yeah.
There's John Lovitz. I feel like Conan O'Brien can't really help it.
Jennifer fucking Coolidge.
Yeah. Have you seen her Discover commercials?
I've seen one, I think.
Like, there's this one where she's, like, getting her hair done or whatever, and, like, it cuts, they're like, oh, yeah, like, you look rad, and she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I was so pissed for her. I was like, no. Whoever, I was like, it's not quite Kendall Jenner and her Pepsi commercial, but, like, to the credit of her legacy, that's how upset I was. It was so stupid. Like, okay, so if you were to redo The Wizard of Oz, like The Wizard of Oz, having Jeff Goldblum play the wizard, fantastic.
Yes.
Sensational. Having Richard Kind play the gatekeeper, that's a horse of a different color.
Okay, one more thing about Wicked before we leave.
this is so good.
Before we're done. But I saw because we don't know who they cast as Dorothy for Act 2, for like the second half of Wicked. Which they've already filmed and everything, like it's already been decided.
They're keeping it secret.
And they've kept it a secret so far.
I don't know how much role Dorothy has because I've never seen Wicked. I don't know what the story is.
Definitely not as much as in The Wizard of Oz.
Well,
considering she's not even in the whole first half.
Yeah.
And they had a theory for casting. The first one I did kind of love. And the second one I didn't love, and the third one I also loved. So we're only going to talk about the first and the third. The first one was to have Judy Garland, like the same way they did Carrie Fisher in Star Wars, where they had somebody come in. They might have even been Billy Lord, low-key, with the blue dots, and then they CGI'd her face on for the end of Rogue One, when she turns around and it's Princess Leia. They could do that because she doesn't play that much of a role. I mean, it would be expensive, but it's fucking Wicked. And that would be stunning if she turns around and it's Judy Garland. Imagine. Like, that would be insane.
well, hi there. I can't do Judy. Can I do Judy? I've never really tried.
Imagine it's Jinx Monsoon.
Oh my
Doing
fucking
Judy.
god. If Jinx... Okay, but between Bo and Yang... Well, yeah,
But it's already
she's
done.
I know. Also, like, well, no, yeah, Jinx Monsoon has been like in. That actually would be such a fucking gag because she's been, and she was in Chicago. Like, how could she have fucking had time to doing 8 shows a week and be in a movie? But it's because she's a witch.
Yeah. Their third theory was you don't see her face at all. You only see her from behind. Because she's like not super, I mean, she's important to the show, obviously, but she's not the point of the show, so you don't see her face. I was like, yes, that's incredible.
I absolutely love that, and that's what I want. The reason I made the face just now that no one saw and no one will hear about is because I was like, what if it's
No.
That's why I made the face because I was just like, I don't want
I've
that.
seen people who have said that.
I don't want that.
I don't want that either. I don't think they would.
I don't think she would want that.
I do have some little theory, headcanon, question kind of things here because when we finished last battle, like we said, we wanted a little more. I just wanted to know a little bit more about Tash because, like, what? Like, where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did he come from? This bird-eyed guy. And
Let's take a break.
I found this little theory by Bookworm Bane of the Plot Hole on Tumblr. Worm with a Y. But they had a theory about where Tash came from because, as we know, the first evil to enter Narnia was Jadis, the White Witch, and she hung around for about 1,000 years, 900 to 950 or whatever, and she is like the biggest evil until Tash, who becomes like way more powerful and imposing than Jadis ever was. And like, where did he come from? And this person did some research and they decided they looked at the first place it was mentioned, which is Horse and His Boy. And according to an official Narnian timeline, the country of Calormen was founded in the year 2004 by Archenlander exiles, roughly 200 years after Narnia's creation. He assumes that Tash began to be worshipped like a generation or two after that. So between 2010, not 2010, 210 and 206. So Tash would be quite old and very important to the Calormen culture. And this person decided to look at the appearance of Tash when we only see those 2 pictures when he's like raising his arms at Narnia and he's all spooky, and then when he has Rishta under his arm, and it looks very old. It doesn't match the aesthetic of the Calormen people, who are very
Bejeweled.
yeah, bejeweled, supposed to be, you know, ancient Middle Eastern kind of people, and Tash feels more like Aztec. Like they keep using the words Babylonian, which I didn't really look up, but like old. And then since they were going through all of the illustrations, they decided to try and find someone else who wears that kind of similar style, and found the Hall of Kings and Queens in Charn. They're very heavily bejeweled. The robes are different, like the way that the crowns are shaped, it almost looks like step pyramids and different things that match more of Tash's kind of aesthetic, if you will. Going through that book, you remember when they're walking through they being Diggory and Polly, when they're walking through the ruins of Charn, they see like that fountain, and there is a border of carved stone around the archway. If you zoom in on one portion of that stone, it matches up with Tash's beak-like face with the rooster kind of feathers coming out of the back of the head and the tongue out, like not exactly, but it is a stone carving. And this person speculates that Tash was a god of this old world, perhaps the being that taught Jadis the deplorable word or something of that nature. And during that 900 years, when she's calling forth werewolves and hags and these other dark creatures, creating them or pulling them from somewhere, she also pulled forth this old god, knowing that she wasn't powerful enough to take on Aslan herself. But he's obviously doesn't give a shit about what Jadis's plan is, so he disappeared very early on and might even have powers to shift between worlds the way that Aslan does, to come to London World and do different things. But really interesting when they pulled out that illustration of them walking through the ruins of Charn and seeing that little carving, especially because of, I don't know if it was a headcanon that we found or just one that we made, a theory, whatever, of Jadis ruling the giant city of Ruinous when they come across that old bridge. It's described in my head anyway very similarly to the archways of Charn, where there's these faces of creatures and different beings that are carved into the pillars that you cross through, almost as like a reminder, or that everything is in their name, is in their bequest, at their bequest, you know? I don't know. It was really interesting to kind of walk down this person's theory lane, and I 100% agree that, like, this is Tash, and Tash was a god of Charn or something like that, and drawn into the realm.
Yeah, because you know, before, of course, like before you finish what you're saying, I was like, so Jade, Jade is like clearly like called, like or to me, I think that Jadis, clearly called Tash to Narnia to make her more powerful, because in The Magician's Nephew, it doesn't mention that she didn't call, like, it was like, you know, it was just had been known to the great kings that there was a word, you know, the deplorable word.
Right.
Because at first I was like, well, did Tash teach it to her? And it is possible. Also, my brain was just going all over the place.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, you know, like Babylonian Mesopotamia, like maybe in my head, like the Tash ban was somewhere between like Sluis's like Disney version of like Aladdin, like the Middle East, and then also maybe it was, you know, the story of like the Narnians and the Tashban or whoever, like the Narnians are like the Hebrews in the story, so that would make like the Tashban like the Egyptians, I guess, and Tash being an ancient god. Ancient Aztec gods and Egyptian gods are very, very similar.
It's like they stumbled across an old god because they were searching for something new.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm here. You can
Yeah.
worship me. Or he was just like skirting along in the desert. And they were like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that four-armed bird? And
Well, with your
flying purple people eat.
going along with the whole Jadis ruling the giants in order to pay Tash somehow for helping her, what exactly can she give him? So my brain's like American Horror Story, Angela Bassett stealing babies for the Hitcher, which is the spooky voodoo man from The Mighty Boosh, who is based on the actual. He's no old Greg. Well, he's worse than old Greg.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe that was the way that Jadis was able to have, like, maintain that power for all that time, like, instead of becoming weak, because it seems like it would be hard for her to recuperate and gain strength. But if she was able to pull help, and yeah, as you said, Tash can bounce. I mean, obviously Tash can bounce in and out of worlds.
Yeah, he came from somewhere. He wasn't in Narnia the whole time, and then all of a sudden he was.
Well, and if Lucy can be in the middle of the ookity spookity and ask for help, and instantaneously we send an albatross.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single reason why Jada shouldn't be able to call for Tash.
Right. And then on top of that, the exiled Arkenlanders calling for somebody other than Aslan, and Tash answering the call. I believe it.
Easy
It
to
scares
manipulate.
me, but people calling what did Farsight the Eagle say? People call on demons that they aren't prepared to see, type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
just don't.
Don't get a Ouija board.
No, 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 no.
Don't try to speak to spooky spirit. Yeah, it's like, it's just simple things where it's like, yeah, don't try to just talk to a spirit, because you will not get the one you want. You'll just get one, and it's probably not going to be a good one.
No, no. And I have this other little, that was just like 50 headcanons, Narnia theories, or whatever. This one was great. When the sons of King Frank and Queen Helen married water spirits, because that's what happened, like to populate Narnia. They didn't just like have kids and then those kids had kids. He was like he found the workaround for the. But when they had married water spirits, this person theorizes that some of their children retained more aquatic physical features than others. And then some of those children married other water spirits, and kind of like changing the genetic code generations and generations. And later, they are considered a separate species of frog, newt, fish-like humanoids, and became known as the Marshwiggles. They theorize, because they're like, that's a Narnian original, this Marshwiggle. So they're like, it must be the water spirit, and then there's some human, and then another water spirit, and then another type of, whatever, and they're just like populating the world. And then you get the Marshwiggles. Oh.
I still think a marshmallow sounds like a candy from Harry Potter.
It sounds delicious.
But maybe it's just because the author of that series just kind of lifted. She's like the Elon Musk of writers. She just lifted everything off of other people.
Yeah, our realization of the woman turning into a snake bit, and then you're like, she turns into a snake. She turns into a snake. And then I had the realization of what you were saying. I was like, oh my god, another fucking thing that was snatched from Narnia for Harry
Turned
Bopper.
into a snake, dude.
Harvey Bopper. I still had some beef with Lewis regarding Susan, so I just I don't know exactly what I looked up, but I just wanted to see what his other plans were, because he supposedly had other plans. And it says here that in his own writings, he claimed to have plans to write a work called, quote, The Problem of Susan. And it would pick up Susan and finish her tale. But he died in 1963, as everybody knows, before he got around to the proposed project. And a pretty famous author, Neil Gaiman, has apparently taken it upon himself to write a version of The Problem of Susan, though apparently his work is less a continuation of Lewis's thinking and more of just a critique or rejection of Lewis's treatment of Susan. So now I need to find this Problem of Susan Neil Gaiman thing and read it, because if he's as mad as we are, that is so incredible. Like, come on.
Oh no, I'm already on Thrift Books. The Problem of Susan and Other.
By Neil Gaiman?
The Problem of Susan and Other Stories. Yeah.
Wow, okay. 100% need to read that. But yes, Lewis himself, he wrote a letter to a reader who was probably upset with his decision about Susan's end in Last Battle. And he says, quote, not because I have no hope of Susan's ever getting to Aslan's country, but because I have a feeling that the story of her journey would be longer and more like a grown-up novel than I wanted to write. But I may be mistaken. Why not try it yourself? And in another letter, he says, quote, the books don't tell us what happened to Susan. She is left alive in this world at the end, having by then turned into a rather silly, conceited young woman. But there's plenty of time for her to mend, and perhaps she will get to Aslan's country in the end.
Okay, so doing the math, Susan would be in her like mid 80s now, right? If she in in real world time, if she were to be alive, maybe even actually maybe her 90s.
Yeah, I think she'd be
She was
pretty old.
yeah,
Because she was 17
because World War II ended
in Last
in
Battle,
45.
which was in, yeah, which I think was in like 46, like right after the war or something. Because I think that Last Battle is after the war. But I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly.
So she probably wouldn't be alive if she were a real person. Mostly what I'm just wondering is, okay, so she lost all of her family
Yeah.
in one go.
So I have my own little fun theory of yes, there's nothing that is going to redeem the fact that she lost literally every person that she loves in one go, in one fell crush. Okay. So buckle up, kids. Buckle up. The rings cannot be destroyed, as we discussed, right? Like the roots of the tree didn't destroy the rings, like nothing. They're fucking magic rings. So, in my head, Peter and or Edmund had them in like a little box in their pocket because they wouldn't want to touch them just in case like something happened. So, they were in some way safe. What if, this is a giant what if, but what if Susan gets these boxes returned to her with the belongings of her family that are able to be found? And so she opens up this little box and touches one of the rings and then goes to the woods between the world. And then as soon as I was typing up this theory, I was like, wait, backtrack. Or if you want to keep with the Susan is like a stuck up kind of conceited whatever, she doesn't open the box, which is like the mirror of Uncle Andrew, who was asked by his fairy godmother to not open the box, to dispose of it in very specific ways, and to never open it. And he did open it, and it was the dust, and it set off the whole everything. So this would be like the opposite, where she's so hurt by all of this, and she's like, what was so important in this fucking box that killed my whole family? Like, I don't even want to know what it is. But her child, like, I named her child Luther, like Lucy, but a little boy, because I love to break my own heart. But her child opens up the box and takes one of the rings, and then it's the Polly debacle where like he took one ring and he has no way of coming back. And Susan is smart and she puts it together, and then she has to go on the adventure and journey to save her child. And that's what I want to see, which is basically A Wrinkle in Time. Like, let's be real.
Do you want to hear my version?
Yeah, please tell me. Please tell me.
Tissues are over here.
Oh no.
In my version, Susan loses her whole family.
Oh no, I feel like I already know where it's going.
Of course you do. Susan loses her whole family and receives the box, as you mentioned, and like you said, never opens it. And so because she's so distraught after losing her family, she decides to do away with the way that she was living her life and just completely kind of focus on doing good for others. So she never marries. She never has children. She never has any of that. And she kind of lives the life of Mrs. McCready.
I was thinking like McGonagall.
Yeah,
Does
exactly.
the same, like she
just,
like makes that sacrifice.
And you could take it in the route where one day, while she's living in this countryside mansion she inherited or whatever, like some children come to live with her during the Vietnam War. That's not where it's going.
Sorry, almost went down the wrong pipe.
Yeah, did you take a sip afterwards to clear it
Yeah,
out?
I'm about to. You can't be drowning if you're drinking. That's a tip for y'all out there. You can't drown if you're drinking.
Words of wisdom.
Sorry, continue.
No, it's okay.
Or-
So what I was thinking is that, yeah, Susan never opens the box, never marries, because She decides that a life of quiet penance and reservedness is what's better, and so she does what everyone does eventually when you get old, and she dies. But instead of nothingness, she does get to go to Aslan's country, and before she gets to see everybody, because she does, she gets to talk with Aslan, and oh my god, why am I crying? This isn't even real. And she's like, what? Oh my god, it's not even real. Why am I crying? And she's just like, why did you make me wait so long? Like, you know, she somehow, you know, like she knows about the rings. I guess like she knew about Narnia and how to get there. And she was just like, well, and I know you can call me whenever you want to. I don't need the rings. I'm like, I don't need a wardrobe. Like, you can call me whenever you want. Oh my god, why am I crying? And like, why did you make me wait? And he's just like, you didn't want to come. You weren't ready. Mm-hmm. You didn't want to believe in it. You didn't want it to be real. And so because you didn't want it to be real, it wasn't real. Because that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
Why is mine so much worse than like, it's not even real. It's not even real. Anyway.
Yeah, mine was like a fun adventure. Yours...
I'm almost done, don't worry.
Yours is the slewest version.
Yeah, it's the slewest version, but it's also like Aslan's just like, I'm really sorry that you were waiting, and like, yeah, I knew you wanted to be here, but you had everything you needed to be here the entire time. You had that box.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz. You could always go home.
Yep. All you had to do is click your heels. It's the same thing as the parable. Like, why didn't you save me, God? And they're like, what are you talking about? I gave you you were supposed to come with everybody you were supposed to be here always. Like, you were never supposed, and the wonderful thing is everyone's waiting for her as if none of that ever happened because we know where they all are. And I think that would be Susan's penance, is that she had to live the rest of her life alone instead of getting to have her family, getting to have everything that she deserved to have. But like, she chose not to be a part of everything, so everything was taken away from her. And it's very Old Testament God, but Sluice likes to bounce back and forth.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you don't want it?
Suck on that, Neil Gaiman.
Well, we haven't read it, so he might side with you. He might actually say the same thing.
No, I know. I love his style of writing, and I feel like Neil Gaiman is like the Greta Gerwig of writers, where
he would be great to work with on the Narnia series.
Notes for Greta. That would be so cool.
Work with Neil Gaiman.
Also manifesting having her bring us on as her consultant team, also to just like hang out with, because like, yeah, we'd be fun on set. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we definitely won't smoke weed. We'll just only
definitely not
do like tincture or something, because I don't like edibles.
We're gonna become besties with all the grips, with everybody in craft services.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Anne will tell you, no, Aslan would not like that.
And I will not dress in period costumes the entire time, I promise.
I will not steal things off set.
I will dress like Joan Crawford, but I will not act like her. Anyway,
one last thing. We have to do one last thing, right? Before I
was gonna say, now that I've made you sob with my Susan fan fiction, let's bring it back to
some funnies with what was it? Favorite oh yes, our favorite sponsor.
Yes. So for those of you who have been paying attention, you might have realized that none of our sponsors are real.
Sorry if you tried to buy any of those things.
Yeah. Also, it's not that we didn't want to have sponsors. It's just that nobody offered. Nor did we ask.
Yeah, we didn't ask anybody.
Yeah.
But
Whomst. Hoopst.
I'm not even gonna say any, because I don't wanna give their name any airtime if they're not gonna give me any money.
Okay, so my favorite sponsor, I truly can't really remember all of them, but when I initially...
A lot.
Yeah, there are a lot. I would say for me, honorable mention, Aslan Air and everything that
Yeah, that was gonna be my honorable mention, was Aslan Air.
it's like being in a balloon, only better. Aslan Air, first in luxury, first in Narnia.
Aslan.
Then I wonder if our favorite's going to be the same. My favorite was Meat Wrap, I think.
We're gonna take a short break to thank our sponsor of the episode today.
Leaf wrap, wrapping up a bunch of meat. Put it in your bucket, take it with you. It's gonna be oh so sweet, gonna eat it later. Hopefully it doesn't kill you.
Leaf wraps for meat.
Meat Wrap was good.
I think was my favorite, but I'm like, I can't remember all of them.
My favorite is Tumnus's Treasures.
Okay, yeah, no.
Tumnus's Treasures is my favorite.
It is good. This episode is brought to you by Tumnus's Treasures. Are you looking for fabulous things to decorate your home, cave, or humble abode? Come on down to Tumnus's Treasures and see what you can find or scour.
Well, come down to Tumnus's Treasures. We got treasures, oddities, crystals, books, horns, flutes, harmonicas, panpipes, anything you need at Tumnus's Treasures. 1-800-TREASURE.
Well, thank you so much for listening.
We've missed you.
Yes, it's been far too long. And we have one episode coming between now and our next book series, which will be another ranking, but a visual ranking of all of the covers of the Chronicles of Narnia, all of the different publications, all of the different languages that I was able to find. I've got them in publication order, and we will go through and pick our favorites, because as we were going through the series, I was finding different versions either online at the thrift store, and there's some really cool illustrations. I just kind of assumed that they were all the same as the ones I had growing up, which I do not think you will find in my rankings anywhere. They all kind of suck.
I ended up having some pretty cool illustrations in mine.
Yeah.
Same, I just kind of, it's like with Harry Potter, you just kind of assume that they're all going to be the same. But
Yeah.
I like the different artistic interpretations. I think it's fun to see the different covers. And I'm really excited for our next book series, The Time Quintet.
Yes. Quintet.
Quintet.
Tet. I
Quintet.
think.
The Time Quints.
Yeah. Time 5. The Take
Time
5.
Force 5.
We're going to be reading five books.
Beep.
Called The Time Quintet. Tet.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And starting with A Wrinkle in Time, they are all by Madeline L'Engle, right? Madeline, right?
I was like, we should probably figure out how to say her name,
Yeah.
because I was like, I think you were right. I also am riddled with fear.
Madeline Lingle.
Madeline L'Engle.
Madeline L'Engle.
Not L'Engle. L'Engle.
L'Engle.
L'Engle. Madeline L'Engle.
L'Engle.
Madeline L'Engle. But yeah, I'm excited to go through this next book series as Lobster and Boy, and I haven't read these ones in a while. Like I reread the Narnia series except I really don't remember the last one. Regardless, I reread those ones as an adult. I have not read the Time Quintet since like the 4th grade.
I think I was probably in middle school-ish.
Yeah, I was Charles Wallace reading these books.
Yep. I was somewhere between Meg and Charles Wallace, to no one's surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm super excited. I don't have them. I might have to get them from the library or something, or just buy them on thrift books.
Yeah. Well, I have physical copies, and I might want to do it the way that I did, where I read the text, so you can borrow the physical books if you want.
We'll see.
Because I already bought. The second we decided we were doing it, I was like, thrift books.
Yeah.
But I also got all of them for less than $20 because
Heck
I
yeah.
already had A Wrinkle in Time, so
Nice,
I only
nice.
had to buy the quartet.
And that's all we have for now, and that is the last time you will ever hear us talk about Narnia. Probably not. Probably not at all.
I'll never stop talking about
We'll
Narnia.
probably say, "Oh, this is like that time in Narnia," or "This is like this," or "This is like Narnia," and I'll definitely be saying, "This is like Harry Potter." But
So we'll have some Narnian jingles. We'll have some throwbacks. The Ghost of Sluis. Just because we finished reading the books doesn't mean we don't still have the rings.
no, they all live within us, and they will remain. We will remain faithful friends of Narnia.
And every morning, birds will come clean all the crumbs off the table.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Lobster and His Boy with me, Wyatt the boy.
And me, Clem, the lobster.
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at lobsterandhisboy@gmail.com. We are also on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube at Lobster and His Boy. No capitals, no spaces, no special characters. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. I hope that you also like the Wrinkle in Time series because it's what we're doing. So I hope you join us on this next journey, and we will see what happens.
Strap in, folks.
We're going to other realms.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.